Cholamandalam Investment strong Q1 profit jump of 50% coming in. Let's discuss the quarter gone by. Joining us, Rohit Phadke. He's the president and business head of home equity, home loans and corporate finance at Cholamandalam Investment and Finance. Mr. Phadke, good quarter coming in for your company. Just take us through the highlights and what's led to this sharp jump as far as profits are concerned.
Very good morning to you. Thank you. Last quarter has really been great. Our profits have grown 50%. Our disbursements, the business volumes have grown by 30%. Most importantly, we've retained our GNPA levels at about 3.6%. Two reasons. One, our focus on business and the intensity of collections. Our intensity on improving our portfolio continues, and that has really helped us to ensure that we deliver quality numbers.
Good morning, sir. If you could just tell us in terms of where asset under management is concerned, we've seen a growth of almost 18% in this quarter. So in the coming quarters, what is the kind of outlook that you have, and what's the growth number that you're looking at in terms of where FY17 is concerned?
See, our assets have just now reached 30,000 crores, and we've always looked at an asset growth of about 18 to 20%. And last quarter too, we've grown by the same percentage. Going forward too, we always have this aspiration to ensure that our asset book grows at about 15 to 20% year on year.
Talk to us about your asset quality trends as well. There's been a mild uptick in NPAs, but I believe that's normal for Q1 for your company.
See, if you really look at the asset quality or delinquency, the first quarter is always very difficult. And despite the fact that we've been through this first quarter, if you look at our GNPA levels, they're more or less the same. There's a very marginal uptick, but more or less they are stable at about 3.6%. And this is primarily because we've geared ourselves to ensure that the focus on the intensity on collection stays in every bucket, the early stages also, as well as the provisioned cases where you roll them back. So both the sides, since the focus and the intensity is high, despite the fact that the first quarter is always very difficult for finance companies, we've been able to retain that GNP level to about 3.6%. Going forward, we hope that we should be able to improve on this.
In terms of where segments are concerned, the vehicle finance business has grown by almost 29% at 2,588 crores. And if you see in terms of where home equity disbursements are concerned, currently at close to 991 crores out of the total book with a growth number of 19%. So in the coming quarters, are you expecting an up move in terms of where revenue share contribution is concerned from the home equity business is concerned? Because currently a lot of concentration is in terms of where vehicle business goes.
No, traditionally, see, we always been, if you look at it, the home equity business has been a new business for us. We've been here for the past 10 years in this business. And traditionally, it's always been vehicle finance, which was the largest business for the company. And if you look at the proportions now, they're at about 70-30%. And we are adding new segments like housing loans. So gradually, this year, obviously, I don't think the proportion will change much. But in future, definitely the proportion of the other businesses which cater to the SME segment will definitely grow. And if not exceed, but at least they'll be as big as the vehicle finance business.
What's the outlook on margins as well? It's a healthy print for this quarter. Will you be able to maintain this going forward as well?
We do hope that we'll be able to maintain margins because we're also working on our cost of funds. ICRA has revised our outlook from AA stable to AA positive. And obviously that doesn't make much difference in terms of getting good rates in the market immediately. But yes, the market knows that once you move from stable to positive, an upgrade is in the near future, and that does help us in getting lower rates of interest. We do believe that our cost of funds will come down, and that will help us retain our margins.
So in terms of where lending is concerned currently, because banks are moving to MCLR, is it becoming difficult for the NBFCs to keep up to the kind of rates that banks are also providing? And do you think competition in regards to this is increasing for the NBFCs?
usually what happens in the financial cycle is that when there's a slowdown and the corporate lending is not high, banks generally tend to move to the retail side of the lending. But this is just cyclical, once the corporate lending comes up and banks move away, I mean, things normally stabilize. So I think this is only a temporary phase and it will correct itself in the near future.
Right. Just going back a little, you were in the plans to come up with a payment bank and then those plans were dropped. I'm also trying to tie this in with the kind of competition that there is, especially in the financial space right now. Are you possibly going to look at that opportunity sometime in the future, as also how you're dealing with the increased competition in the NBFC space?
See, as far as the payment bank is concerned, I think our board has already taken a decision, and as of now, it is status quo. So, as of now, there's no change in the stance that we have taken. As far as the competition is concerned, if you really look at us, we have a huge number of branches across the country, 540 to be precise, and we would add more number of branches to ensure that we get down to say the second tier and three tier cities. Will be practically everywhere across the country, so our distribution will be pretty huge. Secondly, our customer segments that we deal are pretty niche, and I don't think anybody would be able to straddle across customer segments. For instance, if you look at us, we straddle both the transport segment as well as the SME segment, and the very few NBFCs who straddle both these segments and have built up businesses around both these segments. I think we do enjoy a slight advantage over there, and we are not really too much concerned that our space will be taken by somebody.
And before we let you go, a word in terms of where your geographical expansion is concerned currently. Where do you have maximum concentration, and over the next 2 to 3 quarters, are you looking at any newer geographies?
Yes, we would add about 100 branches across the country. To be honest, we are not concentrated anywhere, because when you look at numbers like 650, I mean, you have to be present across the country. You just can't afford to concentrate yourself anywhere. It's across. We are present in even east. We are present, and we are expanding even in the areas of northeast. So there is no concentration. We are well spread across the country.
Right, Mr. Phadke, we'll leave it at that. Thank you for joining us today. With that, completely out of time on this edition of Corporate Eye. Thank you for watching.